The United States uses tariffs as a tool to exert economic influence and control over global trade, and there are several ways it does this. Protecting domestic industries. By imposing tariffs on imported goods, the United States makes foreign products more expensive, thereby encouraging American consumers and businesses to buy domestically produced goods. This can help protect and grow domestic industries, reducing dependency on foreign markets. The United States often justifies tariffs as a way to counteract practices like dumping, when a country exports goods at a price lower than the market value, or state subsidies that allow foreign companies to sell goods cheaply. For example, the United States imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum imports to counteract what it deemed unfair trade practices by China and other countries. Influencing trade policies of other nations. The United States uses tariffs as a bargaining chip in trade negotiations. For instance, during trade talks with China, the United States imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods to pressure China into making concessions on issues like intellectual property protection and market access for American companies. This led to phases of trade deals aimed at addressing U.S. concerns about trade imbalances and economic practices. By imposing tariffs, the United States can influence the trade policies of other countries. For example, tariffs on agricultural products can force other countries to open their markets to U.S. farm goods in exchange for tariff reductions. Controlling supply chains. Tariffs can make it more expensive for multinational companies to source materials and products from certain countries, incentivizing them to shift their supply chains. The United States has used tariffs to encourage companies to bring manufacturing back to the United States or to diversify away from countries like China. This can significantly impact global trade patterns, as many countries rely on U.S. markets for their exports. In sectors like technology, the United States uses tariffs to influence global supply chains. For example, imposing tariffs on Chinese-made electronics can disrupt China's dominance in the technology sector, potentially shifting production to other countries or back to the United States. Economic sanctions and geopolitical influence. Trade sanctions. Tariffs are sometimes part of broader economic sanctions aimed at influencing the behavior of other countries. For example, the United States has used tariffs and trade restrictions against countries like Iran, North Korea, and Russia to pressure them over issues such as nuclear proliferation and geopolitical aggression. Retaliatory measures. The United States can impose tariffs as a retaliatory measure against countries that engage in trade practices deemed harmful or unfair, such as intellectual property theft. This not only affects those countries economically, but also sends a message to others about the consequences of similar actions. Setting global trade norms through international trade organizations. As a leading member of international trade organizations like the World Trade Organization, the United States plays a major role in shaping global trade rules. When it imposes tariffs, it sometimes challenges other nations to act within WTO guidelines or to negotiate changes in trade policies. Leveraging economic size. The sheer size of the United States economy gives it significant leverage. Many countries rely on access to the U.S. market for their goods. When the United States imposes tariffs, it can compel trading partners to align with U.S. economic and political interests to avoid losing access to this lucrative market. Examples: U.S. China trade war. Starting in 2018, the United States imposed tariffs on Chinese goods to address issues related to intellectual property theft, market access, and trade imbalances. This forced China to negotiate and led to the Phase 1 trade deal in 2020, tariffs on steel and aluminum. The United States imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum imports in 2018, citing national security concerns. This move not only aimed to protect American industries, but also to press other countries to agree to more favorable trade terms. In summary, tariffs serve as a tool for the United States to protect domestic industries, influence global trade policies, disrupt supply chains, and assert economic and geopolitical control. By leveraging its significant market power, the United States can often compel other countries to modify their trade practices to align with American interests. Please subscribe to Next Gen Economics.